These are things to think about. List. Let me get the hair out of my mouth. There's an emergency, right? Okay, everyone, listen up. This is important, okay? Okay, I want you to watch it all the way to the end. Okay, everyone, listen up. This is important, okay? Okay, I want you to watch it all the way to the end. Now, I did receive a comment not that long ago, and I talked about what was in my van, and I mentioned the word bugout bag. And so I got a comment that said, I don't even know what a bugout bag is. They said, well, I'm not interested in your lifestyle, so living in a van, because I live in my van. This is my minivan, okay? And I've done this for 8 years. But she said basically that she was not interested because, she thought I was entertaining, but she was not interested in this lifestyle. So she really it didn't apply to her. Au contraire, right? I'm going to talk about bug-out bags and evacuations, because what's in the news? There is so much going on right now in California. Our air quality in Tucson was through the roof. Bad air quality yesterday. It was like 163, which is bad. I have a friend who used to work at Amazon, and when I told her about the air quality, she says, that's so high that we would have evacuated the entire warehouse if the air quality was that bad, because she worked in the safety department. So it was really bad. And the reason I want you to pay attention is because you need to be able to save yourself. Unless you're so disabled, okay? But you can't just sit in your chair on TikTok and cry and think that somebody's going to come to save you. Everybody's going to be taking care of their own. They're going to be saving themselves or their pets or their children or their elderly loved ones. Everybody's going to be so busy. You must be prepared. Sit back, pay attention, take notes, and I made you coffee, okay? Cheers. Cheers to being prepared. It's perfect, isn't it? It's perfect. Let's get started. I hope you don't mind, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to read some of this. I want to keep on track. I don't want to forget anything, okay? So go ahead and take notes. So grab a paper and pencil. Okay, first of all, for evacuation, let's talk first about the bug-out bag. It is essential because if you're going to evacuate and you're going to get in your car, you need to grab that bug-out bag. Everybody needs to have their own bag, but the main bug-out bag is what you're going to grab. Essentially, here's what a bug-out bag is, because the one lady didn't even know what a bug-out bag is. Most of you do. A bug-out bag is an emergency preparedness kit designed to help you evacuate. Yes, and evacuate quickly in case of a natural disaster, emergency, or other crisis. Don't think, these days I'm looking at things, there's no area that's completely safe. We just had in Florida, we had in North Carolina, we had in Maui, now we have in California. Oh my gosh. It's essentially a pre-packed backpack or durable bag containing essential supplies to help you survive for typically 72 hours, 3 days. You don't want the bag to be so heavy. You want to be able to carry it, even though you're going to throw it in your car, because we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Essential supplies, water. Now, I suggest, you're not going to be, if you really are bugging out on foot, you're not going to be carrying this, but you should have some water jugs in your car already. Now, you need a water filtration system. What I suggest is just a small life straw. And if you have multiple people in your family, each one should have their own life straw. Non-perishable foods. Here's what I suggest. You know those packets of tuna? And then you can get packets of rice? I would say carry, each one have 2 or 3 of those on their own, every single person. Because what you can do is when you get so far, and make sure you have a spoon in there, you get so far, you get going, get out of the danger. I want everybody to kind of like take a break and put your tuna inside, open it up and put it inside your rice, and everybody eat that. And even if the kids, make them eat it. They need, because it's got protein and it's got carbohydrates, because you're going to need that. And I say some hard candy too. You know, something that you could suck on for your throat, and the sugar might give you energy. And if you have any other suggestions for food, go ahead and leave it down, what you think would be good for you. First aid supplies. You don't want to carry, the pack can't be so heavy. So I'd say some Band-Aids and maybe a tourniquet or something like that. You need a flashlight with extra batteries. But for what I believe you need, batteries, no. My flashlights are USB. It's USB-C. And they don't need to be heavy. Although I do have all kinds of flashlights. I should show you all my flashlights sometime. What I suggest that you have also is everybody have their own little battery pack. You can buy them on Amazon, $30, $40. Everybody have that. And you need to have some cords that adapt either to your phone, or each one have 2. One that is USB-C for this and one for your phone. Essential multi-tool. Do you have one of those? Important documents. Oh yeah. And I'm going to list in just a minute, I'll list what those important documents are and how to store them. You need cash in small bills, 5s and 10s and 1s. And you need a portable radio, preferably a hand crank. And you need, like I mentioned, you need battery packs with all of the necessary cords that coordinate with what you're going to use. Now, here's some basic survival gear. You need a change of clothes that are appropriate for the climate. You need weather-appropriate outerwear. You need basic hygiene supplies. You don't need a lot, okay? One thing you really will need, and I will mention it, have yourself 2 or 3 of them, some lip balm. Your lips are going to get so dry. You're going to be nervous. You're going to, anxiety creates a dry mouth, okay? That's why I say hard candy, and make sure that you can keep your lips moist. Emergency blanket. Those 1 emergency blankets, I'll show a picture right here of that. Matches and lighters in waterproof containers. Oh yeah. You know what I carry with me is I carry Bics. And a lot of survivalists, experts, suggest have those matches if you need them. But a Bic lighter is so light. You could carry 5 or 6 of them in your bag. And it would be a good trading tool too. You could barter with it. They're light, they work, and yeah, just put them in a baggie, something that is waterproof. And you're going to need your medications if you're on medications, okay? Yeah. You know, if you're not on medications, here's what I would, definitely, you need to have this because if I can find it. Ibuprofen takes away swelling. You could trip and fall and whack your knee, your ankle. You could whack your hand. You know, when people are anxious and they're upset, you're going to hurt yourself. So carry yourself some pain reliever. The key principle is keeping it light enough to carry while including critical survival items. It should be stored in an easily accessible location and periodically checked to ensure supplies haven't expired. Okay. When I lived in a house, I kept my bug out bag near my door. Okay. But, some people say, well, why would you do that? What if your house is broken into and they can just grab everything? Yeah. Well, keep it handy. That's sort of close on your path going out the door to your car. Okay. And this should happen all the time. Now, here's another thing too. I want to mention this before, because I don't have it written down, but I did think about it. There's also something called the get home bag in an emergency. You could be at work and you need to get home to your family. Okay. And cars aren't working. So you should always have a get home bag in your car, in your vehicle at all times. So that if you need to walk, and you would think, well, I don't live that far from my home. If there's a disaster, it could take 2 days to get home, seriously, because you've got people that are looting, You've got people that are confused. You may have to stop and help somebody. Some of your direct path home could be blocked. You know, you never know. So you want to be prepared for anything. So with your get home bag, I suggest you take even a little bit more. Maybe even a tarp that you can put over yourself if you have to sleep over at night. These are things to think about. Let's talk about important documents, shall we? Let's go over what is necessary. Because those poor people in California, oh my gosh. Let's take a look at that, shall we?
Flying right over that thing. Wow.
Okay? Oh my gosh, are you okay?
Yeah, I just leave my car right there.
Where's your car?
The cop said you have to leave, and I leave my car right there because
So, what happened?
there's a lot of fire right there. That's why people coming. They leave the car.
You know, that's really crazy. I have never had to evacuate, but I've thought about the scenario. And nomads do have an advantage because we can evacuate quickly. If we hear of something going on, we can get out of town. In fact, we might even have time to actually run to the store to stock up just a little bit and then drive out, because basically everything that we own is here. But here's the thing with me. If I had to bug out by foot, I would still have to pull things together, and I'd have to get way down in here and pull things out so I could get in there to get my bug out bag. So, but I think that nomads are a little bit ahead of the game, aren't we? If you're a van dweller, yeah, van life has its advantages. Important documents in a bug out bag serve to prove your identity, maintain access to your resources, and help you with recovery after a disaster. Here's a comprehensive breakdown. Identification and personal documents. Your driver's license or state ID copies, passport copies, birth certificates for all the family members, social security cards or numbers, marriage license, military ID records if applicable, current photos of the family members. You need to have that, okay? I would have printed copies of that or actual copies, because if there was an EMP, you're not going to be able to get on your phones, okay? I'll talk about that at the end. So I would have physical copies of all the family members, just in case you get separated. Now, here's financial and legal documents. Insurance policies. You need home, auto, life, and medical policies. You need property deeds, lease agreements. Vehicle titles. Oh my gosh. Recent bank statements, credit card information, emergency contact numbers. And I would actually have a written down copy also. And copies of your prescription records, medical records of critical conditions, vaccination records, and power of attorney documents if applicable. Now here's how you're going to store them. This is important, so pay attention. Pay attention. Let me get a drink here. This is good stuff, isn't it? Okay. Store the documents in waterproof Ziploc bags or laminate the copies. Now, I said laminate the copies. Consider keeping digital copies on a USB drive. Oh yeah. Take photos of documents and store an encrypted cloud storage. I would take photos and make copies and carry them with you. I really would. Keep this is it thing. Keep the original documents in a fireproof safe or bank deposit box. I don't know about that. Maybe you could keep with family members. I don't know. I don't know if you want to take the originals. You decide that. I would take the originals. I'm going to take my originals because I carry my originals, yeah. And consider making a small document guide with critical account numbers and emergency contacts. Now, remember to update these documents periodically as they change or expire. So, here's for evacuation. Before you need to leave, okay? Let's talk about evacuation. Have multiple planned evacuation routes, at least 3 different directions. Now, I know my areas. I know the cities that I usually visit. I know them like the back of my hand. So I would definitely know how to get out of here. And also in my summer home, I know that area very well also. Now keep your vehicle fuel tanks. Oh my gosh. Keep gas in your gas tanks. And it says at least half full. Well, okay, but I like to say all the way full. A lot of times what I do is every couple of days I go top my tank. Because you never know. Here's something. Let's do a scenario. Let's say, I don't know. Let's do a scenario. The Chinese are coming across and they're invading. And they're going to invade your place. They're going to invade your town or whatever. And everybody's in their car, piled in their car, throwing things in their car, and they're going to head out. Evacuation. Or it could be a fire. Evacuation. What happens if you're going to stop at the gas station? Oh my gosh. That's going to be horrible. And if it is a really major emergency, there are going to be people who will, maybe on foot, maybe homeless people, and I'm not saying that they're all bad, but they might want to get your car. So if you're out pumping gas and there's people just in a frenzy, their anxiety and they're screaming in their frenzy, somebody could easily just knock you over and hop in your car and take off, right? Or and take off with your family still in the back seat, your kids. Keep your tanks full. I read a story one time on this scenario. It was scary. It was really scary. Pre-packed bug-out bags for each family member. Yep, that's what you're going to grab. Establish meetup points, one local, one out of the area. Yeah, I don't have that all set with my family when I'm in Tucson. When I'm in Flagstaff, I'm totally, I'm kind of like on my own. There's nobody up there that I really would coordinate with. Maybe Max. I think Max and I have coordinated before, like if something goes down, where should we meet? Establish meetup points, one local and one out of the area. Practice evacuation drills with your family. Sounds like a lot of work, doesn't it? But seriously, with what's going on in the world today and with yeah, do this, okay? Keep physical maps and mark your routes. I think it's good to have a physical map. You know what? I don't. So that's one thing I do need to get. And have a communication plan with your family and friends, okay? Now, we're coming to the end here. When evacuating, leave early. Don't wait for the official orders if you sense danger. If the hair on the back of your neck, take only essential items to avoid wasting time. Now, here's one I want to mention. Have a go, no-go checklist to make quick decisions. Now, what is that? I wrote this down here. The go triggers would be the official evacuation orders, immediate visible threats like fire, flood, loss of essential utilities for an extended period of time, security situations deteriorating rapidly, medical emergency requiring evacuation, like some chemical spill. Yeah. When you have multiple exit routes available and you see your neighbors evacuating, woo! When you have daylight hours remaining. Now, here's the no-go conditions. This means don't go. You're going to stay. You're going to shelter in place, they call it. Your routes are already blocked. You're gridlocked. You have extreme weather making travel more dangerous. Immediate threat would be crossed during an evacuation. Better resources and safety at your current location. when authorities specifically advise staying put, if evacuation would separate your family members. You don't want to separate your family members. So the essential questions for that would be, is the threat immediate or approaching? Do I have time to get to safety? Are evacuation routes still open? Do I have necessary supplies packed? Is my vehicle ready? Oh yeah. So you want your vehicle ready. Are all family members accounted for? I am going to leave all of this information. Did you take notes? Sometimes writing really helps you remember. But I'm going to leave all this information in comments. Now, I don't know how much I can put in one particular comment, so there may be other comments, but I'm going to pin the most important one at the top so you can copy and paste it, okay? Here's vehicle preparations, and I mentioned that. Basic tools, jumper cables, spare tire, oil, coolant, basic fluids, are they all checked on? Do you have emergency water? Some food? Blankets. You need to keep blankets in your trunk, people. You really do. Yes. And see, I got mine right there. Basic first aid supplies. Keep them in your trunk. A phone charger. And cash in small bills. Now, here's your special considerations for them little furry friends. Plan for pets. If you have pets, you got to plan for them. Have extra food in the trunk. And their records. Have medication list, okay? And you need to have a minimum of a 7-day supply for your medications. I'm not on medications. The only thing I would grab would be my ibuprofen. Yeah. Now consider the elderly and disabled family members. What are their needs? You need to have them ready. You can't just wait for, oh, everybody evacuate. You can't just wait for that. I'm kind of yelling, aren't I? Bring it down, Lee. Bring it down. Okay. I'm just, Okay. Let me have another sip of caffeine. Woo! Caffeine. I can make light of this. I did have one lady one time, she goes, on one of my videos, she goes, you laugh inappropriately. Oh, hey. Go stuff it, right? I laugh when I want to. Okay. Keep your shoes and flashlight by the bed for night evacuations. There you go. One of these days, I'm going to show you all the flashlights I have because I use through night. And they had me review a lot of flashlights. They were sending me flashlights almost once every 3 months. So I have an array of flashlights. Yeah. Know how to manually open your garage door if you have a garage door. I don't have one. And have rallying points if family members get separated. Okay. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to leave all of this information. This is a long one. But I'm going to leave all this information in comments. This is a go-to, this is a come back to video. You know, maybe even once a month. I'll come back to this and watch it again and go over and just, we need to be reminded. We think that we're so prepared. And then we forget, oh, I don't know, nothing's going to happen. I don't know what it is about Americans, but we have been pampered for so long that people, I even hear people still say, what's happening? Don't think this is America. Well, there's no reason why bad things can't happen in America. We're all humans. And I think we've been so spoiled. It's like, oh, this could never happen here. Well, guess what? It could happen here, and it might happen here, and it will happen here if we don't, keep on track of what's going on around us, politically and things like that. I mean, we have to keep on top of things, and we have to be involved. So, I hope you enjoyed this. I think I'll quit now, and I'll bring it down. Bring it down, Lee. I'll be more quiet. I'll whisper to you. I want you to talk to your family members. Go over this list that you're going to find in comments, okay? Okay? I love you guys so much. Mwah. Yes. Say prayers. Look up and say prayers. There's a lot going on in the world right now, so keep looking up. You know what I'm talking about. And say prayers for all the people in California. And there's still people in North Carolina who are freezing to death. You know, they're living in tents, right? And they're being forced out of their land. And there's still people trying to clean up from Florida, right? And then you've got all those people in Maui that their disaster happened, right? I mean, they lost all their homes and they can't even go back. That land was confiscated from them in Maui. So just because we don't hear about it in the news anymore, there's still people suffering. So we need to be praying for them and sending them some good healing vibes, okay? So I hope you subscribe and give me a thumbs up. And I've got the books. I want you to go on Amazon. Go on Amazon. I want you to type in Minivan Lee. I've got my books there, How to Live in a Minivan, the Minivan Lee Way. And there's where you're going to find all your list. Okay? Ebook and paperback. I've got, you can carry your thrillers with you, the book. And that's for entertainment once you get somewhere. I've got The Guy in the Orange Tent and Night Owl's Digital Shadows. Those are 2 thrillers. Got it? You got it? I love you. I'll see you in a couple days, okay? Okay. I do love you guys. Here's to being prepared. Be prepared. I was a Girl Scout. Be prepared.